Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is DFree and here today I'm going to be taking you guys through a general walkthrough on how to play Dragon Ball Card Warrior, the new game mode added to Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. This is free DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. You find it on the title menu again of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, meaning yes, in fact, it is a part of Kakarot. You do need to own Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe, of course, if you are new to the channel for more content as well as the notifications so you don't miss anything we upload here on the channel. And if you guys find this helpful, please be sure to support it by hitting that thumbs up and leaving a comment. Whatever you want to comment, it's fine. I don't care. But support the video. Thank you. Anyways, we're going to take you guys through a walkthrough generally on how the gameplay is structured and things like that. So bear with me because I'm going to try to explain as much as I can. There's going to be a lot of talking, just letting you know in the beginning, although you probably have already figured that out. Now, this game plays very, very similarly to other games in circulation like Hearthstone or various games that are very, very similar to Hearthstone, like Xenon Zard is an example, Shadowverse is an example, X times 10 other games at least in circulation right now that all play similarly. Actually, this game doesn't play anything like Hero Coliseum or Dragon Ball Heroes or the actual physical Dragon Ball card games. It doesn't play anything like those. It doesn't play anything like Yu-Gi-Oh! No, it's entirely different from those types of games, but it's very similar to like Hearthstone. If you know those games, you have a leg up on the competition. So when you begin, after you built your deck and you jump in, you have the chance to mulligan. So depending on whether you're going first or second, obviously that's going to be something we talk about in a minute, but you get to choose what you want. So I'm going to start off by sending back this. I don't need it. In fact, I really don't need much of what I have here, but that's okay. So we did pick up a couple of cards I can play at various parts of the game. So every single card, this is the layout for every card, right? Every card's different, obviously, but if we take a look at Goten, the number one in the top corner is the required energy, the cost of the card. Example, this Ginyu frog has a 0 in the top left, meaning I can play this dude when I have literally 0 energy. Now, we're going to explain energy in just a moment, but the rest of the layout for this card is as follows. In the bottom left corner, in that blue square, is that blue squiggly thing. That is a symbol. You will need those as basically your energy source, aside from the regular one, when it comes to playing cards or triggering effects, as things like that. We'll get to that a little bit later. And then you have the attack power and the HP. So we take a look back at Goten. He has another blue square symbol, 3,000 HP, 1,000 attack. As you guys notice, like I said, you will need those symbols in order to trigger effects. So Goten has an effect where when he is played, he draws a card. As you guys see, it says that clearly right there. But you do need to own one of those blue symbols. You cannot own a symbol unless you have a card, an extra card like this card or whatever, that gives you those, which I don't think there's even a single one in the game right now, so that's not really a thing. But the main way you get those is by having characters that hold that symbol get KO'd in battle. So to begin, I'm going to start off by playing the Ginyu. Now, that means that the Ginyu's in circulation. You cannot attack on the first turn a character is played unless you have a effect or a card. Actually, if we go back to this one, that gives the term Swift Attack. If you want to pause it, you can see what Swift Attack does, but characters can generally not attack unless they have that trait active on the card itself or it's given to it by an effect. Now, the layout is as follows. You see my cursor moving. This is the layout. So my hand is here, as you guys see. My field of play is right here where the frog is. If we go below that, that's my icon and my HP there, 30,000 HP. To the left of the HP is this green circle, excuse me, square here, right next to the yellow circle. The 0 in there, that is your energy bank. But to explain the bank, I need to explain the energy system in general. So every turn you get 1 energy. You see the bottom left corner, that 1 out of 1, right below where I currently am with the cursor. That is how much energy you have. Now, every turn, that number goes up. You get 2 energy to play with next turn. The following turn, you get 3 energy total to play with, etc. Energy that you do not use, like if I were to end my turn right now, that 1 would get added to the bank. And once per game, you have the ability to empty your bank, add the energy that is in the energy bank to your overall energy, and use that total lump sum throughout the turn. Your bank is not going to be usable after that unless, again, you have a card or effect. There are those, though, that allow the restoration of your bank. All right, so let's go ahead and end the turn here, and that's the general layout of what we have going on for the first turn. See, that energy just kind of went over there. Now that green square is now a 1. So there we go. So both of us kind of did the same thing. He started off with a little bit more energy by going second. That is the merit of that. Okay, so here we are. I have 2 out of 2 energy I can use. So here's how the general battle works. So again, very, very simple. These characters, these Ginyu frogs, have the guard trait. So what that means is that characters cannot hit any other characters or the opponent's actual life, assuming as long as this character's out there. But you can actually ordinarily, if there's no guard ability on the board, you can ordinarily just attack the other player's HP. So that is something to consider. It doesn't matter how many dudes they have out there. If there's no guarding trait, you can always hit their life directly. So now that I crashed those two frogs, I do have the symbol, right? So to the left of the one here, the energy bank, you guys can't see the energy symbols that I have. So the blue one, I have 1 now, whereas that was 0 previously. So now when I play this dude, it's going to allow me to draw a card. So let's go ahead and play the Goten. And I drew that Gohan. So the general layout, like I said, of the battle is attack minus the HP of the character. So in that instance, this character is the only thing that was on the board last time. It has 1,000 attack and 1,000 HP. So they just destroy each other. But if you run a character into another character and they can't actually defeat that enemy, the enemy will hit back. And if they can defeat you, they will get defeated. Your character, excuse me, will get defeated. And as a result, actually we can kind of show that here. As a result, their attack total will get subtracted from your total HP. Example. So right now, Goten is at a threshold of 3,000 HP. This dude will lose this battle from Goten, but he will take 1,000 HP from Goten as a result of this battle in general. So Goten's HP value now goes down to 2,000 because you, again, subtract the attack of the enemy. So they do hit each other. So keep that in mind. So for this turn, I will go ahead and just play this. It's going to allow me to draw a card. Okay, so I'm going to actually just kind of play this and end my turn. We haven't really had any physical directly to HP type of attacks yet, but right now I'm just kind of trying to set up the energy bank because I do want to try to play some bigger cards and explain SP cards and stuff like that as we go on. Now we're playing against a very, very similar deck. That is a training deck that I built that plays very similarly to this one. So here we are, turn 4. I have 4 out of 4. I'm going to actually drop this Gohan on the board. Actually, I'll play this Goten, draw another card. Okay, I picked up this Raccoon, who has the guarding trait. Okay, so here's a card that, by the way, does have swift attack, like I mentioned earlier. When I play this Frieza can attack as soon as I play it. Generally, though, swift attack characters cannot actually hit the life. They can only hit other characters on the board. Keep that in mind. Remember how I mentioned earlier that you can actually go direct. You don't have to hit the actual dude out there, the characters out there. You can avoid them entirely if you really want to. So we're going to go for that. Couple cheap hits, and we're going to end our turn here. I have 3 extra energy in my bank now. So off to a good start in terms of the bank. Technically, if I wanted to, next turn I'll have 11 energy to play with. But that's not something I'm really going for. Notice how he had to attack the frog there. Because again, when you have the guarding trait out there, you have to get rid of that character first. Now, here's an example of me. I'm going to actually go ahead and make a bank play here. So we're going to go ahead and use the bank. Since I drew the Trunks card, which is what I was actually fishing for, I'm okay with that. So Trunks has an ability when you own a blue energy, or blue symbol, excuse me, he restores your bank. Notice it's destroyed, like it doesn't work anymore. So we're going to go ahead and play the emergency contact, which causes a SP character to come into play. Now, I didn't explain deck composition, but when you build your decks, your deck is comprised of 25 cards and then 5 cards that are from your SP area. These cards cannot be played ordinarily. You cannot just draw these cards and choose to play them, right? They can be whatever you want among the cards that are eligible to be there, obviously. There's a different type of card, but you cannot play them normally. They can only be played by cards that force them to be played. Keep that in mind. So we're going to play this emergency contact. It's going to allow me to play a card that fits the condition. I'll bring out this Krillin.
You're ready for a real challenge.
Okay, Krillin has an effect that he is going to be able to buff by 1,000 attack for every ally, right? So we're going to go ahead and play this here to restore my bank. Okay, I do still have a few energy left over, but I want to get a head start on the following turns, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of move on from there. Now, Krillin has swift attack, okay? So he can attack, but I cannot actually target the beer symbol back there to do direct damage. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and just attack this Goten. And since my Gotens are getting the extra 1,000, either one of them will be able to deal with Bulma's 2,000 HP total, thanks to the buff from the Krillin effect. again, keep in mind that you do want to, if you have a scenario like this, try to at least not get your dudes killed, because the more they take damage, the easier it is to kill them by weaker dudes. They can have a lot of attack, but be super easy to be defeated. For example, this Trunks, he's at 10,000 attack. That's a pretty good number, right? But a lot of like turn 1 characters can pretty much pop him. So you want to make sure that you're really, really monitoring that, right? So keep that in mind. Okay, so he played the Gohan. So he didn't actually get that effect. He doesn't have a purple symbol in play. So he didn't get this effect where you deal 2,000 damage to your opponent's leader or 1 character on the board. Now, this is one thing to keep in mind when it comes to characters that have guarding effects. You can use effects like this or other extra cards that can actually just pop those dudes directly. And you don't have to directly attack them, right? I think that goes without saying, though. That's pretty standard stuff when it comes to card games, right? So I want to kind of get a purple energy myself. And I don't really have the means to do that ordinarily. I need to play this Gohan. And I could probably pretty much push for game here right now, pretty much. But I'm not going to directly do that because it defeats the purpose of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and attack here. Krillin will go down to 1K, but since I have a blocker on the board, Dragon Ball Super card game term, since I have a guarder on the board, I won't be able to. He won't be able to directly beat Krillin. Unless he uses an effect like I mentioned earlier. We're gonna attack here. Again, just kind of prolonging the game a little bit because I do want to play some of these other cards, do some of these other things. But yeah, I want to play this Gohan, get his effect. There's summon the dinosaur, but I can't do that unless I have a purple symbol. Again, the symbols are on the left side above the energy bank. So there's 4 symbols total, if that wasn't clear.
I'll win. You'll see.
Okay, he's going to restore his bank, but doesn't need that. It's just AI being stupid. Going to draw a card. Are you going to ever use your energy bank? Anyways, so this card here allows me to draw 4, and then I get to choose 2, keep 2, and send 2 back. Since I want to kind of brute force this, I'm going to go ahead and just crash right here. This is a scenario where they're both going to defeat each other, which I don't think has really arose that much in the video. So that's fine. I will lose Krillin's effect. So there's that. But I wanted to kind of show this. We're going to bring into play the dinosaur. So Gohan's going to come. He's going to summon the dinosaur. Again, neither can attack turn 1. The following turns, though, that will be a different story. We're going to eliminate his Goten, which drops my Goten down to 1K. Oh, actually, that's not even enough. Excuse me. I completely mislooked at the character. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and just wrap it up here, I think, after this attack. And we're good to go. So it's a very straightforward game. Like, it's really straightforward. It's you play this like twice, you got it. You get the hang of it. Okay, well, the AI is being dumb. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and drop this Goku.
You dare challenge me? Your foolishness knows no better.
Or, excuse me, Frieza. We're going to use the energy once again in the bank. Draw here. I'm going to send this Gotenks and this Raccoon back. I want to summon another SP character, which I actually can do. So let's go ahead and crash here. I need that slot, so we're going to go ahead and play you. So that will, again, summon an SP character. If you didn't understand, again, you cannot naturally play these cards. You have to actually play them by fitting the condition. Now, speaking of conditions, when it comes to the symbols, there are going to be cards that actually do different things. It hasn't came up yet, but there are cards that are going to need multiple types of symbols at one time, like a blue and purple or blue, purple, green. That's going to come up, right? And then there are ones like this one that are going to actually eat one of those, consume them, literally, it says, and they will not be there anymore. They're not going to be available to you anymore. So do keep that in mind.
I'll win. You'll see.
So right now we've pretty much won, obviously. We won probably a couple turns ago, but I prolonged it here, postponed it a little bit. We get the KO there, so that's generally the game flow for this. Obviously, it can get a bit more complicated depending on how the match is going, the outcome of things, and how you need to play. But that's pretty much it. If this was helpful, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. I tried to explain in as much detail as possible, even though it probably took a little longer than you would have maybe otherwise liked. But if you watch in 0.5 speed, or excuse me, not 0.5, 1.5, you should be fine. So anyways, thank you all. I'll be seeing all of you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.